I'm Katie Blevins, and this is my work wifey, Summer Shamley. We are the owners of the studio Hampton Roads. For those of you who haven't heard of us, I'll get to that in a minute, but I want to start by letting you know that we have different arms to our business that do a lot. That's why we know Kisha, because we're photographers by trade, and over time we have graduated to a more service-based industry where we support other small business owners through a variety of different ways. And we actually don't shoot very much at all now, but we're familiar with everybody else. So I'll start first with our social media and small business consulting arm. Locally here we have our consulting arm, which is the Hampton Roads Creative. So if you're here locally and looking for just some guidance, you're trying to get into social media, most of us have a good, probably in here we have a good grip on what we're doing. That's why we come to things like this. We know that it's important to engage and be online. But for new business owners, especially with the broad range of age, it's very easy to enter the market today. And as we all know, every day we turn around and there is a new social media platform to be on, and before you know it, things like concierge, you're chained to your computer doing social media, 24 hours a day, and nothing else gets done. So people very quickly get frustrated and they give up, or they phone it in, or they're barely present, which really is just not effective, as we all know. So what Summer and I do is we sit down with small business owners that are trying to get their bearings in the social media world. And we have, just as an aside, we are working moms. Between the two of us, we have 5 kids under the age of 5, so we're no stranger to chaos. I have twin 4-year-olds. Summer has a 5, a 3, and a 17-month-old. Yes, so we know what it's like to be crazy all day long, and we know that we just can't, it's not happening. I don't want my children talking to the back of my head while I'm at the computer all day. So when we work, we want to work smart. We don't want to work hard. So when we consult here locally, we sit down with people and we walk them through the different tools that they can use to help make their social media management more efficient, whether it's Hootsuite or Buffer, whatever floats their boat. It's just introducing that idea to them that as business owners, we need to delegate anything that we possibly can. And then when we do engage online, we need to effectively use things like hashtags or Twitter parties or things like this where people are getting together. Letting them know that you can't just set up those auto feeds where every time you publish a post it shoots a tweet over and how come nobody's seeing it, those frustrations that they run into. It goes one step beyond that to copywriting and content writing, website copy, social media management, social media writing, video management, through our national arm, through Nerdy Girl Writers, which is a company that we're managing partners of based out of Utah. If I'm turning red, by the way, Zach made me have a beer, and that's just what happens when I drink. So I just want to put that out there. But with Nerdy Girl Writers, we work with business owners, small all the way up to large, that know they need to have a consistent presence online, but they just don't have the bandwidth. Maybe they're in some industry that doesn't lend themselves to writing. They don't have writing expertise. Or they're a small team and they just don't have time to keep their blog up, but they know that it's important. Or sometimes it's just people that are just like, you know what, I just don't care. I want to delegate it to somebody else, take care of it, and I don't want to hear about it anymore. And we do all of that. So if you're going beyond the consulting arm where you just want to know, you want to be taught, because ultimately the best thing we can do is teach you and let you go do it well. That's the most authentic way. But if you do need that help with freeing up your time and knowing how that there's a team of writers that's doing what they do best. They know how to write, they know how to engage. Instead of crashing and burning on your own and getting frustrated because you're not moving forward, you can say, okay, I'm in the hosting industry and I want to write about 5 websites you should never visit, why you need to remind me, but I just don't know how to communicate it. You can give that type of information to our team of writers and they develop the content. They can manage your social media from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of those things to make sure that you can effectively be in your business and not be stuck doing your business all the time, if that makes sense. So that's the mini side of our consulting arm. The other side that's most relevant to people here in Hampton Roads is the studio Hampton Roads. We have a building down by the courthouse off of North Landing. If anyone goes to Dr. Mahane's dentistry in the most amazing dentist office, ceiling fans, warm patio. Every time I drive by there, I'm like, I want him to be my dentist. There's a little house that sits back from the property, and that's our studio. And this is an extension too of us wanting to support other small business owners to give them a place to operate. As you know, we're in a military community, which means we have a lot of transient workers, families that come in and know they're not going to be here for but a few years, sometimes less. We have a lot of working moms that supplement income for their families while their spouses are just deployed, or vice versa. We have females that are deployed as well, and there's husbands that are supplementing at home. They don't have the bandwidth or the cash to go sign a lease for 3 years when they might not be here that long. So I'm sure you've seen going to Starbucks. There's 10 people in Starbucks, 6 of them are wedding photographers having consults. 2 of them are other small business owners that just don't have a place to pop up shop and professionally host their clients. So we opened the studio Hampton Roads. Originally it was a brainchild for photographers. So we have studio spaces that photographers can come in and use. They rent by the hour, they come in, they host their clients, they go use their room, they leave. But it's graduated now to be more of a common shared space. We have independent sales reps come through that need to do, we had Stella and Dot when they did their spring launch and they wanted to bring all of their reps together. Instead of renting the back room at a restaurant, they were able to come to a studio that was a relaxed, quiet environment. They can spread out, they can do their thing. We've had book clubs come, bridal showers. We have wedding planners that come and do all of their consults there. It's just a shared space that allows them to give their clients a location. We're going to meet here. It's a building. It's not somebody else's business. It's not Starbucks. We're not going to be surrounded by all the traffic that comes with people from coming in and out. You're going to come here to a professional environment and we're going to sit down and do business. So it's really important to both Summer and I to undergird other small business owners and allow them to operate successfully and professionally and grow their business when they might not have the means or the cash flow to do so. That all implies that we have a lot of cash flow, which we don't, but yeah, fake it till you make it. So those are our 2 major arms here locally. That's all spinning up to our big project that we're working on right now, which is called the Modern Femme Movement. We'll be hosting a convention next May for female entrepreneurs, where we'll be bringing in speakers from all over the country. We're hoping to host almost 1,000 working women from all walks of life, where they will have 2 days of hearing speakers talk on everything from social media to business to finances. But then on the other side of the fence, they'll also be hearing from body image experts, life, health and wellness, balance, how to be a gracious female that's able to embrace their personality and not feel that we have to shout to be heard or be aggressive to be heard, that people can embrace and celebrate their true natures and succeed. That you can be working moms with 6 million children and still be fully present in your home and achieve your professional dreams. So that's what we're working up to now. I know we've got a lot of guys in here, so it's probably like, okay, I'll just ignore that part.
Tell your wife, don't.
Exactly, thank you, that's where I'm headed. And Chuck knows we've talked before about, if you have female employees, this is not just for working moms, it's not just for small business owners, it's for women that are engaged in the workforce in any way, shape, or form, to be inspired to build their tribe, to refresh and recharge. As working women, most of us wear a lot of different hats, and we never take time for ourselves to slow down and say, what is the quality of life that I'm looking for? And how do I marry that with my professional aspirations? So we have cards here. On the back of the card, there is a discount code for $100 off. So I'm going to give them to all of you so that you can give them to some woman that you love and know that deserves to be pampered. And then
let's just talk this. 1,000 women, guys.
I know, really. We're looking for sponsors and vendor people, so and I'll wrap up here so we have some questions. But along with this $100, it's important to us that this is a service project. We are praying to baby Jesus every day that we just break even and pay the bills. This is what we do. This is our passion. So we want people to go. We don't want them to be scared off by the price tag. So right now we're running our early bird rate, which is $4.99. They have a scholarship opportunity online that takes it down $100. There's a code here that takes it down another $100, and then Hatch has another code that takes it down another $100. So there's a lot of ways to make it affordable for people, especially if they're invested in their community and taking an opportunity to engage with other like-minded professionals. So take your girly card and give it to somebody that you know and love. So I'll pass these around, and then we'll open up for questions. I know it's a lot. We do 10 too many things, so 15 minutes is like, I know, mile a minute.
Are you looking for sponsors for that, for your event?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you have a lot of women sponsors or companies already?
No, in fact, you know, we have sponsors and people that are partnering with us, but you do not have to be a female-owned business or even female-minded in order to be a sponsor. You know, we were talking, you know, looking at things like Bold Grid. We're talking about resources and tools that can build small businesses and support small business owners. So that's a whole gamut of people. So if your company offers something like concierge is like a no-brainer, we'll talk to you later. If your business offers something that can support busy working women or just busy small business owners in general, that's something we should talk about because these women are motivated.
I'm talking to one of the friends I know works for National Bank that specializes in
I don't think this is just for women anyway. We've got male speakers, male companies that have come in as well. We've got Daniel Balinky, you know, some of you may know him from coming to Hatch, and Tim Hussey from Pixify, which is an awesome software company, come to talk about customer service. So there are things that men can learn from this conference and not just women.
But most definitely, if you have a business, we do have a channel. We were very blessed to get an open voice on the Huffington Post to grow the movement and to just, you know, challenge society as a whole to reevaluate quality of life and what it means to be successful, to move beyond your bank accounts and to really explore, is your home life as successful as your professional life? Because if one of them is not doing well, then you're not truly successful. So we're also taking the opportunity for companies that do support working women and are actively pursuing avenues to support that kind of passion and purpose and reevaluation for our society. They do have the opportunity to be featured, like Hatch will be featured on our Huffington Post channel. Because, like I said, it's not about us. We want to spread the news. So, and then certainly if you're in the studio and need a place to operate, you're always welcome.
So you mentioned a shared space. Is it recorded or just shared like one time?
You rent by the hour. There's a 2-hour minimum. You also have a security deposit that you put on, a lot in a cleaning fee. Those are if you use the main studios. A lot of those things are lessons we learned the hard way when people like almost burn the place down or things start disappearing.
Lighting fake candles.
Yes, we had somebody who lit our plastic candles last week.
Oh wow.
You name it, we've experienced it. But when it comes to the shared space, if you're just coming in to do consults or small meetups or little things like that, it's a much easier process because you don't have that liability of going into the shooting areas. So it's more of a common space room. It's great for 10 to 20 people that are kind of milling around being social. We have a huge back deck. We have a huge property. We can do small weddings. We can do, when it's nice out, you can have a much larger group for cocktail parties and things like that and utilize the whole property. So, and we try to keep it super affordable. It's, for photographers, it's cheaper than any of the other spaces they would have to use because we understand that if you're doing business there and, you're emptying your bank account to get in the space, then your profit margins go down. So it serves as our kind of operating cost. It rents out to cover the rent and cover our basic expenses.
Do you actually have events, like large events there?
We can host weddings and things like that. We've looked at the idea of doing little vendor nights where we get, local vendors together. Yes, we've done workshops. It depends on what the status is right now. Our upstairs room right now is being, we have a short-term contract with a newborn photographer, so she's taking up our big classroom space. Our downstairs space inside, you're probably looking at 20 max before it starts to get tight. But if it's nice and you can scale outside, then kind of the sky's the limit there. Because if once the courthouse ends, it goes totally dark down there. So we kind of placed ourselves.
Are your rates on your website?
They sure are. And we have a nice online booking process, courtesy of our friends at Pixify, where you just fill out the form and it kicks off this nice process where you sign online, you pay online. It's super easy.
Thank you. Great job.